This movie makes you miss a life that you never lived. This is La La Land. La La Land's ending isn't a love story ending. It's a bill. And if you've ever watched La La Land and felt that ache at the end, not just sad, but like you lost a life you almost lived, I want to tell you why. Because the epilogue isn't there to torture you. It's there to reveal the dream tax. And the dream tax is simple. Every dream charges you. Not in money, in time, in love, and in identity. And the reason this movie sticks with people for years is because it doesn't pretend the price is optional. It just asks, are you willing to pay it? A quick spoiler warning. I'm going to be going into the key moments in ending/epilogue. So if you haven't seen it, save this and come back. And if you have, you already know where this is going. Here's the trap La La Land sets on purpose. It starts like a fantasy, big energy, big colors, big momentum. The world feels like it wants you to believe. And that's what dreams feel like, at the very beginning at least. The first phase is pure electricity. You meet someone, you feel seen, you think, this is it, this is the timeline. But the movie is quietly setting you up for the thing nobody warns you about. The dream doesn't only give, the dream also takes. And it takes in ways that don't feel dramatic in the moment. It feels like little compromises. One more night, one more rehearsal, one more gig, one more audition, one more I can't, I'm busy. And suddenly, you've been paying for years. So let's break down the dream tax in 3 parts. Because once you can name it, you stop feeling like you're crazy for grieving what you wanted. Dream tax number 1. The time tax. This is the most invisible cost, and it's the one that turns into regret the fastest. Time tax is when the dream moves into your calendar without asking permission. It turns, I'll try this, into my whole life is structured around this. In La La Land, you can feel the time tax in the grind phase, the constant chasing, the constant reset, the constant not yet. And that's real. Dreams don't charge you all at once. They charge you in small payments that feel manageable until you look up and realize the years are gone. And this is why so many people stay in comfortable lives. Because comfort doesn't tax your time the same way. Comfort gives you evenings. Comfort gives you weekends. Comfort gives you maybe someday. The dream that asks you for today. If you're living in that phase right now where it feels like the dream is eating your time, I'm not gonna tell you to romanticize it. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Time is the first payment and it's non-refundable. Dream tax number 2. The relationship tax. This is the one everybody understands, but nobody wants to talk about honestly. Because the relationship tax doesn't always look like a breakup. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it looks like 2 people loving each other and still not being able to live the same life. And La La Land is brutal about this. Not because the characters are evil, not because they don't care, but because they're becoming different people. And that's the real cost. The dream changes you. It changes your schedule, it changes your priorities, and it changes your identity. So the relationship starts paying the tax too. At first it's small, a missed dinner, a late night, a conversation that gets postponed. But then the dream starts asking for things that love can't always compete with. Attention, presence, peace. And the hardest part is nobody's wrong. That's why the ending hurts. Because it's not a tragedy where a villain ruined them. It's a tragedy where reality demanded a payment. And this is where people get stuck in their own lives. They think, if I choose the dream, I'm a bad person. Or if I choose love, I'm weak. No, sometimes it's not morality, it's math. Dream tax number 3, the identity tax. This is the cost that makes ambition turn toxic if you're not careful. Identity tax is when your dream stops being something you do and it becomes something that you are. And the second that happens, everything gets heavier. One rejection isn't, they didn't like my work, it becomes, they didn't like me. One bad performance isn't, I had a rough day. It becomes, I'm not that guy. So you start chasing proof. You start chasing validation. And you start chasing the feeling that you're real. In La La Land, you can feel the tension between being true and being successful. Because success can pay your bills and still leave you feeling like you betrayed yourself. That's identity tax. When the dream asks, who are you willing to become to get what you want? Now here's the part that makes this worth finishing, and it's why I framed this through the ending. Because the epilogue is the receipt. It's the moment the movie finally shows you the total cost. Mia walks into the club and the music starts, and suddenly you're watching the timeline where everything went perfectly. Every choice lands, every moment hits, every obstacle disappears. And it's beautiful, but it's also devastating. Because it shows you the life you wanted, and then it shows you exactly what you paid to not have it. That's why people cry at this ending even if they're not sad people. It triggers a specific human grief, the grief of life. The grief of the life you didn't choose. Not because you were stupid, but because you were committed. And here's what the movie is actually saying. You don't get everything, but you do get something real. You get the dream. You become the person who chased it, and that matters. The ending isn't telling you love is pointless. It's telling you dreams and love both have costs, and sometimes those costs collide. So what do you do with that in real life? Here's the clean takeaway I want you to leave with. You pay either way. If you chase the dream, you pay in time, love, and identity. And if you don't chase the dream, you pay in regret. And regret, it's a slow tax. And it charges interest. It doesn't show up today. It shows up years later when you realize you stayed small to avoid discomfort. So the question isn't, how do I avoid paying? The question is, what am I willing to pay for the life I actually want? Because once you accept that the tax is real, you stop resenting it and you start choosing it. And when you choose it, the pain changes. It becomes purpose. I'll end with the moment that makes La La Land feel like it's talking directly to you. That final look, that quiet recognition. It's not, we should have done it differently. It's, we did what we had to do to become who we became. And that's heartbreaking, but it's also strangely peaceful. So if you're in your own grind right now, if your dream feels expensive, you're not crazy. You're paying the dream tax. Just make sure you're paying for something you still respect. If you like this video, comment the next movie you want in this series. Not the movie that entertains you, but the one that costs you something. Or don't. I'm still gonna make the content anyways.